One of the things we look back in pride with is working with those families who have a non-monetary goal. So in addition to wanting to maximize the recovery for their family and get as much compensation as possible, they're focused as well on making sure that this event does not happen again to another family. So we can look back at different cases that we've had, and we can see where part of the settlement discussions included that this company changed their policies and procedures. They had the board of directors of the company come back in after the fact and make a vote to change their operations. We can look back at a particular case where an international service provider who was coming into the home to service a technological aspect of a product came into the home, and the person was allowed to come into the home because they had the name of this trusted company affixed to their shirt. Turns out this person was not hired by this international company. It was not hired by the subcontractor who had been hired by the international company. And it wasn't even that subcontractor's additional help who hired this person. This person was way down the line and was really brought in as a friend of a worker of a third subcontractor whose background check had never taken place. And turns out this person had a horrendous background and should never have been allowed to be inside of a home. That person attempted to assault the daughter of this family. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But because of the egregious nature of what was transpiring, not just that day, but the potential for systemic problems like this to go forward, we helped this family. And in the end, we were allowed to make significant change to this industry so that these types of issues don't come about. One of the cases that the public is most familiar with that we worked on heavily involved Dr. Christopher Dunch, who many people around the world know as Dr. Death. There has now been miniseries as well as podcasts about his treatment of patients and the killing and maiming of many. We were instructed by our clients to do our best to make sure he was not allowed to do this anymore. So we were one of the firms that was talking to the State Board of Medical Examiners to make them aware of what was happening and doing our best to get them to revoke his license, and likewise taking steps to make sure this didn't happen in other states as well. Outside of medical negligence, we've made changes in the world of products liability, including most recently requiring a boat manufacturer to include a warning on their boats so that injuries that happen to our client don't happen to another individual. A danger that should have been warned of, that should have been open and obvious to the manufacturer, but not open and obvious to an end user. We take these steps to make sure that our work here is for our clients, to make sure we're meeting their goals, their monetary goals of taking care of themselves and their families for the rest of their lives, as well as their non-monetary goals, to make sure that they feel confident and satisfied they've done all they can to make sure this does not happen to another family.